Hi, my name's Lee. I'm from MGI. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a motor controller on a Zip Series buggy. This applies to the X1, X3 and X5 models. To replace a motor controller, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm using a power drill with a Phillips head attachment. You may also need a pair of pliers. Okay, so in order to replace the motor controller, you need to flip the buggy on its backside so that you can gain access to the motor controller. You'll notice that there is 4 screws in the outer housing of the motor controller, which we need to remove first. So I'll just start off with removing these 4 screws. Once the 4 screws have been removed, you'll notice that the motor controller might pop itself out of the housing. If you're having trouble getting the motor controller out of the housing, you may need to use a suction cup, like the one I have here, which will just make it a little bit easier to remove. Once the controller is out of the housing, you'll notice that there is a cover with 4 extra screws, keeping the leads in position. So we're going to now remove these 4 screws from their position. Once all 4 screws have been removed, you can pop the cover and put to the side. You'll now see the internals of the motor controller. Now each lead has been marked, and at the top of the motor controller you will notice that there's an indication telling you what lead belongs on what point. So the green is indicating that it's the motor, and the batteries are just bare. So we start off with a motor negative, stem cable, motor positive, battery negative. So we'll start off by removing each of these leads one by one. It might help if you want to take a photo first so that you've got a good memory of what order what leads are supposed to go into. So we'll begin with removing each lead one by one. And now to take this motor controller and fit the replacement. Now that you have the replacement motor controller, we'll begin with fitting the negative battery lead, followed by the positive. Now onto the positive motor, then the stem cable, and finally the negative motor lead. You'll notice that there's grooves for each lead to sit into, so we'll put them into their respective grooves and fit the casing. Want to do up each screw one by one until the casing has been fitted. Now that the casing's in position, you want to tuck the cables out of the way so that they don't get pinched, and slide the motor controller back into the housing. Finally, we just need to fit the final 4 screws. Okay, now that the motor controller has been replaced, it's a good idea to fit a battery to the buggy, turn everything on and test run before returning to the customer. If you'd like any more information, please visit our website, which is www.mgigolf.com.